Hey, what's up guys, WiseGuyVito here, and today I have another tier list video for you guys, and this will be on sentries against the Automaton faction, which ones are really good and which ones are not so much. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get straight into the tier list. So before we start, let's go over the tiers real quick. S tier would be kind of like the meta picks, in my opinion, for level 10 difficulties. A tier would be above average. Might be one glaring issue, but this is still pretty good Sentry to use in level 10 difficulties. B tier would kind of be just like a mid-tier pick. It's neither good nor bad, just kind of just mid-performance overall. C tier is below average. Definitely would like to see some buffs just overall to this Sentry in order to make it kind of like an ARS tier pick. And then D tier, this is the dookie tier. This is the bad tier. We're talking about like some major buffs or just reworks overall to this Sentry. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the tier list. So, the AntiTank Mines, pretty good, you know, like for killing like big striders and tanks and hulks and stuff like that, right? But it's kind of very situational. These are also really good on defense missions. So basically, where there's like wave after wave of automatons, these are actually pretty good at handling just like the more tankier enemies in the game. But I do feel them to be kind of situational and kind of mid at times. So I am going to have to put these into the B tier category. They're good, but they're just kind of very situational to the point where it just kind of feels mediocre. The AntiTank Placement, this is the Sentry where you throw it down, you hop onto the seat, and you have a big cannon, and you get to shoot down. You can basically shoot down anything at this point. You can shoot down Devastators, you can shoot down ships, you can shoot down tanks, hulks, factory striders, and the new mechs now, the automaton mechs that are now running around now. And I do feel like this is very, very good on the automaton faction, especially whenever you're shooting down ships, whenever a bot drop gets called in. These are very, very good. And for that reason, I am going to have to put them into the S tier category. These are very, very good at level 10 difficulties. I almost see at least one or two people running this specific Sentry all the time, and it has a very good reason for it as well. This can also blow up automaton factories as well, so basically like their spawn points. It's just a very good Sentry overall, and especially if you have a map with like a bunch of hills on it, you can kind of set this up like a perch, like a sniper almost, and shoot fabricators from a distance away and actually clear automaton emplacements and stuff like that. It's pretty good overall. Like I said, definitely an S tier pick. You should definitely use it on level 10 difficulties. The autocannon, this is another S tier pick for me. Probably the best Sentry in the entire game right now. Has good stagger force behind it. Has good destructive damage to it. Just overall, it just handles everything. Anything in the game that is automaton wise, this thing can take out. It's very good. Just kind of just throw out there and just let it do its work. So that's why I'm putting it into the S tier rank. EMS mortar, same thing. Just kind of like S tier overall. Just for the crowd control aspects of it, it doesn't necessarily kill anything, but any type of like defense mission, any type of bot drop that happens, you can kind of just throw this out, throw it behind a wall, give it some protection, and just let it just crowd control everything in front of you. Because again, the automatons are getting stronger now with mechs and things that just shoot at you. This kind of stops all that shooting from happening, and so that you can then reposition or actually start taking down Devastators and Hulks and everything else. Just overall, just a very good crowd control tool overall. That's why I'm putting it into the S tier category. The Incendiary Sentry, not gonna lie, this is not really good on automatons. Yes, fire does pretty good against automatons overall, but they do take a while to get set on fire, which is fine. Fire against the automatons is still competitive, I guess, to a degree, but the problem with this is that you don't really have that much range to it. It's mediocre at best, in my opinion, overall, because again, like, automatons can just shoot these down, and if you get a rocket devastator that fires their whole load, it either kills it or almost kills it. So that's kind of why I'm wanting putting it into the C tier category for the most part. On other factions, though, the Illuminate and the Terminids, this is a very good pick overall for level 10 difficulties. But against automatons, I just don't feel like it's really that good against the automatons. Gas mines, super S tier. Anything with gas in this game is just really, really good. And the gas mine is no exception at all. Gas is just like a stun, except it causes confusion and it causes damage over time. That's very good against the automatons because at that point they'll start shooting each other, or and like it just pulls aggro away from you and then onto something else. So that's why they're really good. That's why I'm putting it into the S tier category. Also, they don't kill you and your teammates. Other mines in the game, if you step on them, with the exception maybe like the anti-tanks, but if you step on these, they don't just straight up just kill you or your teammates. The other mines definitely do. In comparison, and that gives better survivability for you and your teammates if you throw these out willy-nilly, which by the way you probably should be throwing out these willy-nilly because of that one reason. Just pepper the field with these and you just have complete and utter crowd control of the Automaton faction, which is pretty good. But the other mines, you have to kind of be careful where you're throwing them at because your teammates are also on the map as well, and yourself, and you might forget that you threw a certain set of mines somewhere, a certain truck or whatever, and you're then walking on mines and you're blowing yourself up. So just be mindful. But the gas mines do give a level of survivability to your teammates to where if they do step on them, it's no big deal. They can just walk out of it, heal, and then they can moan later about your mine placements. So overall, I do think these are really, really good. The Gatling Sentry, I do think these are just A tier overall. I think the autocannon just does what the Gatling Sentry does better, in my opinion. I understand that the Gatling Sentry has medium armor pin and stuff like that. The autocannon just does it better. It has great crowd control to it compared to the Gatling Sentry. Not saying that the Gatling Sentry doesn't have good crowd control. I'm just saying that the autocannon is just better overall. But if you wanted to use something different, more machine gun style gameplay and stuff like that, the Gatling Sentry is pretty good. So that's what I'm putting into the A tier category. This is the HMG placement. Has heavy armor pin now. Before it used to have a light armor pin back in the day. Now it has a heavy armor pin. It's actually pretty good placement for just overall crowd control. The only problem that I have with it, okay, is that I believe that the anti-tank placement is just better overall because the anti-tank placement has insane DPS compared to this. This is good for just like clearing Devastators, Hulks, and like the little skinny bots. But as far as anything else in the game, this thing kind of struggles at. I mean, yeah, I can take down gunships, but whenever a bot drop gets called, you're going to have to be using this mainly to clear the bots that are being dropped, whereas with the anti-tank placement, you don't have to worry about those bots. You can just shoot down the ships, and that's it, right? For that reason, I am going to put it into the high A tier position. I do think these things are actually pretty good overall, but I do think that the anti-tank placement just blows these things out of the water for the most part. Doesn't necessarily make it obsolete necessarily. These things are really good for mob control and just mob clearing, but the anti-tank placement, when a bot drop gets called, these tend to do better than the HMGs. That's what I'm putting into the A tier category. Laser cannon. Do you feel like these are just A tier, just solid overall against the automatons? These are probably better against the automatons than the other faction, or than the other two factions, for the reason that it really takes Devastators by surprise. It really takes Hulks by surprise. Just an overall, just a really good, just mob clearing. Sentry. My only problem with them is that the Sentry gets a little bit too carried away and shoots for a good long while to the point where it overheats and then blows up. That's my one problem with it. If there is some way for them to fix it, then it probably would be like a super S tier pick. But for the time being, though, I do find these to be incredibly solid. I just think it has some targeting issues, just like a little bit. You kind of notice it from time to time, but if the targeting issues were fixed, it'd be a super S tier pick for me. So that's what I'm putting into the A tier category. The machine gun Sentry, do find these to be really good as well because they have medium armor pen. You can throw these out constantly because they have such a low cooldown to them. It's like the starter Sentry is probably it is the starter Sentry, but it's probably one of the best Sentries in the entire game right now because you can just throw it out willy-nilly, and there's literally no type of you don't even have to worry about placement of this. Just throw it down and let it do its work. But the only problem is that again, this is going to be clearing Devastators and like little skinny bugs. This will not be taking down Hulks because Hulks have heavy armor pin to it. Unless the Hulk has his back turned towards away from the Sentry. cool, then it probably will, might destroy it then. But other than that, though, I do find these to be just good, just solid overall against Devastators and bots, which are mainly going to be the enemies that you're going to be running into for the most part. But there has been an increased number of Hulks that I've been seeing here lately, so that's why I'm kind of putting it into the A tier category. But this is a really, really good, just overall, just ad clear Sentry overall, because you can just keep on throwing them over and over and over again. Anti-personnel mines, they're just B. They're neither good nor bad. Again, they're kind of just boring because they're very situational. They're just overall just very situational where you place them, and they do kill your teammates. Whereas with the gas mines, yes, they can be situational, but if you pepper the fields with them, it's no big deal because gas doesn't kill your teammates. These actually do kill your teammates, so you have to kind of think about where you place them at. Mortars, I do think mortars are very good right now in this game. They do kill your teammates because they have such destructive power, but who cares? Whenever these things are massacring the other team or like the other faction, this thing clear Devastators, Hulks. It's just overall just a very, very, very good stratagem just overall because of its simply of its really, really good crowd control. But you have to be careful with your teammates though. They did kind of fix this a little bit by adding a ship module where you can ping enemies and then it goes after those enemies, so that's pretty good. But overall, I really do think these are really good on defense missions and also on capture the flag missions as well. And really, any mission, to be perfectly frank with you, you just kind of be wary that you might piss off your teammates. But for the most part, these are really, really good right now in the game. The incendiary mines, these are also just mid for the most part. Like, yeah, they do fire damage. Yes, it takes a while for, it takes longer for the automatons to catch on fire. But once they step on it, they immediately catch on fire anyways, because if the explosion does set them on fire, the pool of fire that's underneath them will set them on fire, and fire is pretty good right now. Again, but the problem with these, though, is that these things can kill your teammates. You kind of have to be careful with where you place them. They're very niche and very situational, but they are still pretty good. Just overall, like all the mines in the game right now, I feel like that are really, really good. I just think gas mines are just so good at not killing your teammates, and you can just pepper them all over the field compared to the other ones. So that's why I'm putting the incendiary mines into the B tier category. Rocket Sentry, kind of bouncing back and forth between either putting these in S or putting these in A. I do feel like that the autocannon is better, but what the Rocket Sentry does have that the autocannon does not is that it does prioritize heavy armored targets or bigger targets on the field compared to the little ones. But they have to see that target first and not the other little itty-bitty stuff that's on the field as well, right? Because what ends up happening is that the Rocket Sentry ends up shooting at those little itty-bitty things on the map first before they end up attacking the bigger things on the map. And I feel like the AI is kind of just inconsistent at times. For that reason, I am probably going to have to put it in super high A tier. Like, I feel like these things are really, really good, but maybe I can be swayed and putting these in A tier. Like I said, like I bounce back and forth between putting these, putting this in S tier or just putting these in A tier. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about these sentries overall. The shield generator, not gonna lie, like they're not worthless, but it's not good either. They have a low cooldown on them, which is really good. But other than that, though, I just feel like just bring something else. Bring a shield pack generator backpack if you're that worried about it. But I understand like this is like more of like a support thing. If the bubble could heal you, I think that would actually be kind of interesting. If you were inside the bubble and if it could heal you, I think that would be really, really cool. But right now, it is just a defensive bubble that can be easily destroyed, and that's kind of why I don't think that these are really that great. But if it was a heal bubble, though, like you're in the middle of it and it starts healing you, I think that actually might be a cool little buff to it, just a quality of life change to it that would be kind of interesting. So that's why I'm putting it into the C tier category. Tesla Tower. Stun got changed here recently overall, and I don't understand why stun is getting changed for the worse. Basically, anything that's stun right now in the game, except for maybe the stun grenades, now it takes more shocks, I guess, more shocks in order to stun thing. So like it's still doing the damage, which is good, but it's not stunning the thing. And the Tesla Tower, what makes it kind of needing that first hit stun to be required for this thing is that enemies have to be close to it, right? So on like Terminids and Illuminate, like this thing like gets destroyed fairly quickly now. On Automatons, this thing gets destroyed fairly quickly now because these enemies are now shooting at you, and you want them to stop shooting at you because you need. And so that's why the first shock stun is important. Because of they change basically like the stun values now to where it takes more shocks to stun rather than the first shock to stun. I would have to put these in C tier. It's not garbage, complete and utter like booty, but at the same time, it's just not great. It's just not a good Sentry at this moment in time. They need to revert the change completely from, or of stun overall from the Tesla Towers, because right now I feel like gas is just making stun more and more obsolete as the day goes by. And that's really, really bad because I really like stun in this game. And I feel like that there's like certain things in the game right now that actually do stun probably well, and the stun grenades is definitely one of them. But everything else kind of just sucks right now because, again, gas exists. Why would you take stun whenever you can take gas? Because gas literally does the exact same thing that stun does, except it causes confusion in which the enemy hits the other enemy. It basically hits their friends. And it causes damage over time. So that's why, I think stun's kind of worthless right now. And they definitely need to do something to stun because right now stun is just, like I said, worthless. But as far as the Tesla Tower goes, like I said, C tier needs to have its change, or like needs to be reverted back. It probably would be somewhat A tier at that point, because again, like enemies have to be close to it and automatons shoot at the thing. But overall, I do think these things are kind of bad right now. And the trench wall, basically you throw it down, creates a little cover spot for you, and has a grenade launcher in the middle of it. Not gonna lie, these things, like this thing's kind of booty. Like it's not great. It's just not. I don't know what like it's cool, sure, but I just think these are just very like hyper specific for like defense missions. I can definitely see you bringing these for defense missions. And maybe capture flag missions as well. But the grenade launcher can only aim so far. You can get easily flanked with this trench wall as well. Like, and this is kind of like an afterthought. Now, there has been leaks of a sentry wall with like an incendiary grenade launcher. That would be better. But right now, as it stands, I'd rather just have a grenade launcher. Just an overall, just a grenade launcher support weapon rather than just bring something that has a grenade launcher for support weapon. I understand this thing has cover with it as well. I don't care. Like, rocket devastators will blow up the wall before you even know it. And for that reason, that's why I'm playing it. And probably it's just garbage. I just don't know how else to say it. It's just not good. Like, every single time I try to use it, it's just... It just doesn't feel too great right now. So that's why I'm putting it into the D tier category. So this is my tier list. You guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong. I'd love to start a conversation down in the comment sections. And I appreciate the overall support on these videos so far. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.